Yo, you know that a lot of content creators are giving their thoughts about Zenless Zone Zero. The game state and the community was kinda concerning, because this is the most gacha game that divided the community. Not only because of tribalism, but also because the game wasn't very good, but also wasn't very bad. So in a rare occasion, I tried to assemble the mint pickers,
I should be the only motherfucker getting
the TV watchers,
It's so easy. It's because you don't play fighting games.
the sweaty clickers,
And this can give you some major tendonitis.
and I asked the whole community about the changes that can make Zenless Zone Zero better, and I'm gonna mention the things that people are talking about the most, so we can make it more formulated about the things that the game actually needs rather than individual personal preference. And I'm gonna start with something that doesn't really bother all people, but especially mobile gamers, which is optimization for mobile and the game size. This is before we talk about the insane things that need to change. Let's start with something obvious, because some people are experiencing lag or performance issues, and that's why this video is sponsored by LagoFast. Are you having high ping, latency or FPS problems in ZZZ or any other game? LagoFast is the best fix for that, because it's a way to end lag, high ping and any connection problem, and not only that, it also guarantees ultra smooth gaming with faster connection routes, maximum performance and network stability. All I have to do is search ZZZ, click on boost game, and that's it. And I can of course try this on different games, not only ZZZ, and look at the difference of the ping and how stable it becomes. Even the game is more stable in terms of performance. LagoFast supports thousands of popular games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. It has the best setting and offers translation support for languages that are not available in the game. And the best thing is you can use LagoFast on PC, on mobile, or even on console. To download LagoFast, all you have to do is go to the official website, click on download button. You will also get a 30% discount code in the description, and if you click on the link in the description, you will also get a free trial. So what are you waiting for? Try LagoFast now. Now, to be honest, also the game size being 57 gigs is kind of insane, and that's not only on Hoyoverse, that's also on a lot of other companies that don't care about the game size anymore. Because Zenless being 57 gigs and Wuthering Waves being 18 is kind of crazy. And if you wanna find an excuse for that, no, you can't, other than laziness, because they can work on that. It takes time. Now let's talk about the top one thing, the thing that everybody is talking about, which is how the game should handle the difficulty. I shit you not, more than 100 people are talking about the same thing and getting a lot of likes in their comments, so I need to address this. So here's the problem with the difficulty of Zenless Zone Zero. A lot of people are saying, no, the game shouldn't be difficult. You know that gacha games aren't Elden Ring. So the problem with these people is that they only see black and white. They only see too easy or too hard. They cannot meet in the middle, because here's the problem with the combat in Zenless Zone Zero. The skill floor in this game in most modes is too low, even compared to other gacha games. Some people say, well, you can learn more in the combat and learn more about the characters and more about the parry systems. But here's the thing, if you can get S in every level by mashing the same button without the need of understanding the character's synergies or passives and occasionally counter, then there is something wrong. But I would say that for the two endgame modes, we finally can see more challenging content. And it's not insanely challenging, but it's good for a gacha game. That's what we need. But some people might counter this, but okay, the endgame modes have a little challenge in them, so let's make the casual modes casual. I say that they are too casual, and the way that we can fix that is by adding more enemies and make it a real hack and slash or beat 'em up game. Give them even less HP. I'm not talking about them making more damage. No, this make it for the end game modes for hardcore players. We know that this is a casual game, so let's make it casual in a good way by, for example, doubling the amount of enemies, giving them a little less HP. With how exciting the combat can be, defeating a lot of enemies in this game without the need of a lot of challenge is kind of fun by itself in this game. And this is like the problem, which is we don't know what Hoyoverse exactly wants with the game. Do they want to make it a hack and slash? Do they want to make it a hardcore game or a side game? Because they said all of these things. It's not like we're assuming. They said in an article that it's a side game. They said that they want to make the game harder in the future, so it's hard for the players to know what to expect. But this is a main good change in my opinion. The second thing, which is like was almost on par with the difficulty problem, is the TVs. Now, a lot of people were saying remove the TVs, and I would like that TVs can be removed in a lot of modes and in story, but I think it's too late now to remove them. And I do understand that TVs are kind of the proxy, and a lot of people argued that you kind of remove the proxy's role in the story if you remove TVs. But here's the thing, anything that feels forced in a game is not good. At least in the story, they have to reduce them as much as possible because they disconnect you from the story, although it's still happening inside the TVs. So they make it a little easier and make it easier to understand the story inside the TV. So they can keep the TV system, but they can make it better and add more animations and things that makes it less immersion breaking by also making it take less time and adding more time for cutscenes and also these visual novel scenes, which I know take more time, but this makes the game way better. But this is for the story, because as far as I've seen, TV mode in the Sim Uni or the Holo Zero is pretty much welcomed by most people. And that's why I think they should double down on the Holo Zero, by the way. The Holo Zero is a very good endgame mode. It's fun. I'm actually enjoying this mode the most, so I hope they improve it more and more because they kind of cooked with this mode, to be honest. Another thing in the game which is might not bother some people, but it's kind of annoying, and if it's a little fixed, it will be a lot better. The amount of loading screens that we should have. Like, to go from a place to place, you have to be in a loading screen, and it's annoying. It might be too late, but I think they, at least for the future, they need to start removing these loading screens. People wanted to talk about the exploration that exists in the game. We have some chests to open like this, and my take about this is either remove the exploration or make it good. This half-baked shit is ass. Like, add more things to explore in the game. You don't need to make it an insanely open world game, but at least make it like HSR. Or if you don't want to do this, just remove it. It's weird. That's what I'm saying, but they do not know exactly what the direction of the game is. Now, not a lot of people talked about this, but I wanted to mention it, which is the UI. I don't think there is a problem with the UI, but I wanted to mention that something that can make your experience better, which is exists in the game already, and somehow they don't tell us about it, which is you can customize the UI in the game. So there's a quick menu that can almost get you to everything, and you can customize it by going to settings and then input and clicking on the last option, and you can make your own quick menu and put the things that you need to access. But the only problem with this is that it doesn't have every single thing that you can access in the game for some reason. So like internet and things like that. I know that you can access this by pressing E, but adding all of these things will be cool. And for the other UI, I took some time to understand what's going on because it's kind of different than other gachas, but it's not really bad. I don't think it's bad. It just takes some time to understand, and it's not as usual. Remove the lollies. Now, the actual next thing that I want to talk about is the stage designs. Now, I know this is not an open world game, so they are only making stages. And if you only make stages, at least make the stages look different. I know that they will look different in the future, but for now, every stage is the same place. And I know that Hoiverse is very good at making maps and, you know, beautiful places, so they should add more variety to the environment. Like, for example, for some people who say we're in New Eridu, the places look the same. Okay, so what about a mission inside of a huge mall, for example, or in the station, because these places already exist in the map. Not only that, they can also add more dynamic, like things to interact with, and this will be a very good change. Another thing about the world is I don't really care a lot about this, but since I saw a lot of people in the community ask for it, and as I said, we don't want to use a lot of personal preference in this video, and we want to know what the actual game needs, which is make us use our characters in the overworld. Like, instead of using Belle or Wise only, you can have the ability to use one of the other characters in the overworld. I don't think this is hard to implement. Maybe you can do this in the future, I don't know, but I think it's a good change. It's okay. Now let's talk about harder things to implement in the game that can make the game better, but we're just coping at this point in the video, okay? Buckle up. The first thing is add an extra ability to every character. This will make the game more in-depth and more complex, but I don't think that's what they want to go with. But I think they don't want to make the game more complex. They want to make it super simple. That's why I think this is a hard thing to do. But and also, like, what makes it hard is that they need to add the new thing in every character. Maybe they can do that with future characters, actually. You know, if the game has power creep, who cares? You know, they will do it. Another thing which I put it here because a lot of people were conflicted and divided about it, which is make parry timing a little less. I'm one of those people who disagree with this, which, by the way, I like the parry timing to be less. Like, the parry timing in this game is like 3 seconds. But again, if you want something super hard with super insane berry timing, just go play Wuthering Waves and another gacha game. But you know, I think a lot of people want to make this game another Wuthering Waves, and again, I do enjoy that, but I think this game will always be a little casual. I want to add some other hardcore things in the game, but for this thing, it might be not that good for some casual players. I didn't believe that, but I saw a lot of comments arguing about that, and they don't want to make the berry timing a little less, so it's okay. Another thing that a lot of people felt is that the progression in the start was kinda slow, at least in the first 10 hours of the game, and I think that most people agree that the first 10 hours of the game weren't that good. The start of the game, I think most people agree that it was mid as at best. Like, the game wasn't very good at the start. You know, maybe get some modes a little earlier, make the internet level requirements for some stories a little less. You know, a lot of things like that that reduce the first hour's grind so you can get to the fun. Hey Hoyoverse, I fixed your game. You have to pay me right now. So anyway, I made this video to make the community less divided, to at least voice their concerns even more. I don't know, maybe devs will listen one day, who knows. Anyway, if you don't subscribe now, you're gonna lose your 50-50. Bye bye.